Hello viewers, yeah, it's Peter Elgar, the photographer again, funny old bloke. I'm going to talk about belonging to a camera club or a photographic society or a photographic club. They're all the same thing, just with different titles. Now, there's a couple online on the YouTube, but they're all Americans. I'm going to concentrate on clubs in the United Kingdom. Now, I first joined my club at the East Ham Grammar School in 1951 when we went on a trip to the Festival of Britain, and my mate Keith Williams, who ended up as a photographer in the RAF, he had a Kodak Brownie reflex camera bought for him by his dad, and he showed it to us and we all clustered round and looked down into this reflex screen. It was wonderful, all in colour too, you know. And he says, I do my own developing and printing. I said, do you? He said, yeah, Thursdays in the chemistry lab. Oh, he said, I said, can I come? He said, yeah, you come along. So I went there and the room was in semi-darkness. And the chemistry master, called Gabby Hayes, was sitting at the top end and he was dishing out small sheets of blank paper, a penny a sheet. And then the boys would take this over to a bench and they would put this paper, and on top of it they put a negative and they put it into a thing like a picture frame, and then they'd go to another bench and hold it underneath a lamp on a retort stand for so many seconds, and then they'd walk over to the sink and take out the blank bit of paper and put it in a dish with some liquid, and then it would all darken and then there'd be a picture appearing, and then they'd wash it and put it into another liquid, and then they wash it again, and then they would dry it. I forgot how they dried it now. They never had a drying machine, but that was contact printing of large negatives, because only the rich could afford a 35mm camera in the 1950s. Schoolboys could only afford box cameras, which takes big negatives. So that was the start. I got hooked, and I looked at my mum's Brownie Hawkeye camera that she'd got in the 1930s by saving up Black Cat cigarette coupons, and as she didn't smoke, it took a long time to get the camera. Then I cycled about 4 or 5 miles over to a wonderful emporium in East London called Marston and Hurd's, and there the ancient proprietor had bought up all the ex-government stuff from the World War II, and he would take off tins of chemicals and papers and blow the dust off them and sell them to you at very cheap rates. And I got ex-RAF film used in the Second World War there, 6p a roll, and it had a curl on it like a watch spring. And I mixed up some developer as shown by our chemistry master, and I blacked out the bathroom with an old blanket, and I put some red paper around a lamp in the bathroom because I was told it's not sensitive to red light. That means it is orthochromatic film. I didn't know about such things then, and I seesawed exposed film through a dish of developer, and some wonderful grey smudges appear which were negatives, and I thought that was the bee's knees. But I became the secretary of the school photographic club, and then I joined the South Essex Camera Club in Manor Park Library in East London, and that was the early 1950s, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, right through to 59. In the end, none of them lived in the area. They all lived miles away, and they would come there once a fortnight, and it closed down. I used to arrange my army leaves to come inside with the meeting of the camera club, because that was that keen. Now, I was only 15 at the time. I didn't realise, they was all old fogies of 30, 40, 50 years or 60 years old. But now, club members are all 50, 60, 70 and 80 and 90 years old. You don't get youngsters much now. But anyway, I stayed there until it closed down, then I joined Barking. Now, Barking Photographic Society was all fairly young, but we did have one old fogey there, I remember, called George Guy. He was a right old traditionalist. He was in his late 60s, but most of us were much younger, in our 20s and 30s. And we would cover the Barking Carnival in colour and on Ferrania colour film, then rush back to Eastbury House, our headquarters, and I would process up all the films and films of Ferrania colour, and then I would mount them into little clip them into mounts and rush them back to the carnival ground with a projector and show them to the mayor and the carnival court and the great unwashed public of Barking. That's the thing we used to do. That was good fun. And then I left Barking in 1993 after becoming president, and I'd moved to Brentwood in that time, and I went to Brentwood Photographic Club as well, so I was in 2 clubs. Now I left Barking and joined Brentwood full time since I live in Brentwood now, and I became president of Brentwood, but I'm just an all remember now. But this is a publicity on joining Brentwood. I try and get publicity up round the town, but it never brings any new members. I try, put it up in all the shops I can, you know. It doesn't work. But so what's it like being in a camera club? You meet people from all over the place and different nationalities. We've got about 6 or 7 different nationalities in Brentwood, and they're all like-minded folks. Now, there's lots of misconceptions about clubs. People will say, oh, the camera clubs are cliquey, they're not friendly, they don't like beginners. Well, that's a load of rubbish, really, because I've never been in a club that didn't like welcoming beginners. Everybody was a beginner when you first joined. I was a beginner at South Essex Camera Club, and I was the youngest one there. And I didn't take any notice. They was all old fogies compared with me at 15. They made me welcome, and I had a wonderful time. And they were very kind, and people used to teach me things. George Crosby, fellow of the Royal Photographic Society, for example, would have me over to his house in Woodford Green and show me printing with Amidol Developer. And then his wife would feed me marmalade sandwiches on and toast and stuff. Then I'd cycle all the way back to East Ham. Now, I teach the people who come to Brentwood. I'm a great believer in teaching beginners, because there are some people in clubs who say people who want to learn should go to evening classes and pay about 180 quid. But I don't believe that. I think if you go to a club, you ought to learn. But you can meet people with the same sort of cameras, and you can talk to them, and there is a lot that you can learn. Also, you can show your photographs. We have an exhibition every year in Brentwood Library. There's a picture of some of our pictures on show at Brentwood Library. Now, I think that one is one of mine. I was taken in Brick Lane, that one, on 35mm. I use loads of different cameras now. Yeah, that was one of mine. That's our exhibition 2019. Then you have print criticisms by visiting judges. Now, this is a judge on our print competition evening talking about pictures, and he came from Upminster Camera Club. And then we hire them and pay their travel expenses, and he talks about the prints. There's a couple of prints up there he's talking about. Then you can win wonderful trophies. And here's me winning one of my trophies that I've got, which is a silver plate in memory of a camera club member who died. And this is the picture which I took, which won it, and the red is a sticker that I got for coming first. And you get red stickers and you get green stickers, all according to where you come. And the actual print I've got is this one, taken in the Olympic Park in Stratford, with the shadows of the fallen, as I call it. Of course, they was real living people, but the shrouds of the Somme, there's 70-odd thousand little figures there, wrapped in shrouds for World War I, and the artist made each one individually. That won me 2 big prizes. There'd be red stickers for coming first, and the second time I won, I got this all singing, all dancing Print of the Year trophy, and you have your name engraved on it. There, I got my name on it. That's the first time I've ever won the Print of the Year. I'm going right back years and years and years. No, 1976, 1970. Oh no, I didn't win that till 2019. No, PL 2019. That was one with out-of-date film as usual. This film, the good old XP2 out-of-date film, dated 2007. I won it with that. So then you have your print competitions and your exhibitions, and then what do? You have to have your prints mounted. Now, I don't have a digital printer bigger than A4, so that is an A4 print in what you call a window mount. Now, lots of club members do window mounting and cut out mounts, but I don't. I don't have a cutter. You know, I stick it on the back with a bit of sticky. Look, that's the actual print with a bit sticky stuck on the back. But you can buy these window mounts from suppliers like this, all cut out. That's the ones for A4. Pack of them, and you get discount for being in a camera club. And the other ones are ordinary big mounts like this. You can have them grey, and you can have them white. You can have them various colours. I've got some packs of them. They're fresh, and I don't cut them out. I spray them with some spray. With newspaper on the floor. Don't tell the wife, otherwise I'll get into trouble. Spray it. Be very careful I don't get any on the carpet. Blimey. I don't have posh window mounts. Nothing's posh about my photography, mate, no. Now, I organise trips out. The problem is now, as the camera club members get older and older, they don't want to do anything. They don't want to go out. This is us, some of us, on my annual Bluebell Safari, which I organised. Now, this gentleman died recently, as they were gradually dying off, but I'm still going, thank God. That a Bluebell Safari. Then we had a camera clinic. That's the Nikon group, looking at their Nikon cameras. We had a Canon group, and then we had an other group, and I was in charge of the other makes group. Then you have visiting lecturers and speakers come. You've got to pay their travel expenses. That's why you've got to pay subscription. But this is a lady who showed us how to photograph drips of water and splashes and stuff with fast film and fast splashes and what do you call it? Fast flashes. Can't get my words out with my national health teeth. Look. Then we have the Olympus lady come. See, they're all much younger. Look, she's very young, but she's the Olympus lady from Olympus Camera Club and Camera Company in London, bringing all the latest digital Olympuses and some huge prints, which she did. This is the Micro Four Thirds, and you could play with them all for free, all for nothing. And then we have an annual garden party. There's some members at the garden party with a posh bungalow in the background, and one of our members, the treasurer lady and her husband, they host it, and we get free German wine. And they're looking up. What are they looking at? Well, the guy with the beard is a professional photographer, and he was showing us how to use a drone for photographing from a high viewpoint, and he took some pictures of the house, and that was interesting. We had lovely grub, sit outside. Luckily it was good weather, So there's other social events going on other than the normal meeting. Now the club meets on a Friday night, unfortunately, which my wife says you will never get new members, especially young ones, because Friday night is when they go out with their mates to the pub. And that is a problem, meeting on a Friday, but that's the only time we could get the premises. We lease it out at great expense from the Quakers. The Friends Meeting House in Brentwood is a Quakers, and they own that premises, and they charge us exorbitant rent of £1,800 odd a year. So we've had to cut out some meetings to save on the rent. But it's still going every Friday, thank God. Now when I go abroad to the Philippines, I go to the... Now, blasted phone's going now, I'm not going to answer it. Sorry about this. When I go abroad, I visit the Cebu Images Camera Club. This is me in the Cebu Images Camera Club. Hello. And it's much younger membership. I bet it was one of these scam phone calls, wasn't it? About you've had an accident in your car. They're all much richer. There's no pensioners there. They're all rich businessmen. They have a big hall inside a church, and they all sit around on a U-shaped table. There's me there, and they're all Filipino and Chinese, but they've all got loads of dosh. They're all rich businessmen, nothing like pensioners that you get in British camera clubs. We're all bloody pensioners now, and they have a microphone in which you can speak, and they get sponsored by Kodak for their big trophies. And one of the members, his granddad owns the Ayala Centre and in Cebu, and they have a big exhibition. And this is their exhibition I went to. That's just one little view of it. It's in the Ayala Centre shopping mall. And they've got all their pictures on stands, loads of it. It's ever so posh. And they have a meal. Before their club meeting, they have a meal with waiters. And they have lechon and rice and soft drinks come round with a waiter service. In British camera clubs, at half time, 9 o'clock, you get tea and biscuits and soft drink. You don't get a meal. But that's a big difference, because they've all got plenty of money abroad. We did have a little link up with a camera club in USA, in Brentwood, USA, one of the Brentwoods, and they sent us some pictures, and we sent them some pictures. Now, if you don't want to do prints, you can enter the old slides, which are called digital projected images nowadays. You don't have a bit of film in a little slide mount anymore and show it in a projector. That's been disallowed now and discontinued. You have to get your digital files or scan a negative, as I do, mine mostly from film, but they're scanned and digitalised, and then they've got to be a certain size to go with the software of the computer, and they're shown in a digital projector onto a screen, and it don't cost you anything for mounts and stuff like that. So a lot of members don't do prints anymore.